Come on, it's for the
San Francisco.
Yeah.
Kind of long.
Oh, my goodness. Longer ones too. Because I didn't hear one.
I'll have you know, we're giving up bridge tomorrow to watch the parade.
Very nice.
You're not going.
Well, I want to see him throw the football from the top of that double decker.
I want to see Mitch Holmes try to keep the mic away from Chris Jones. Chris Jones asked me for the mic, he's getting it. That's it.
Or Kelsey.
Yeah.
All right, 6 o'clock. Everybody can stand, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I could call this evening's meeting to order. First, we have the chief of police, Penny.
Hello, everybody. So I'm sure many of you already know, but Chad Corbin came to Fayetteville Police Department in 2008 after previously serving as a deputy jailer at the Miami County Sheriff's Office and as a patrol deputy for Johnson County. Having grown up in Hillsdale area, he was able to easily integrate himself into our community. Chad was quickly recognized for his leadership potential within the patrol division and was promoted to Master Patrol Officer in 2009 and then to Patrol Sergeant in 2011. During this time, he was the instrumental in the advancement of the department's internal training program, serving as an in-house trainer for multiple disciplines, as well as being a field training officer for new recruits. In 2018, he was promoted to patrol lieutenant, where he led the development of the new field training program, as well as establishing the department's active shooter response training program for our officers. Chad has also established a training program for local schools, churches, and businesses to train their employees on how best to respond to these events. In 2022, he was promoted to captain, where he served as second in command to the department. In 2023, Chad accepted the position to serve as the interim chief of police. During his exceptional tenure, During his exceptional tenure with the Fayetteville Police Department and working closely with him during his interim, there is no doubt in my mind that Chad has what it takes to continue to lead this department officially as the City of Fayetteville's Chief of Police. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Chad's wife, Molly, and his daughters, Kylie, Caitlin, and Mallory, who are doing Chad's penny.
My favorite part, the speech. Good evening.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council, for allowing me to address everyone here today. First, I want to thank my mother and my father for building a strong foundation in God for all things that are possible through Him. I'd like to thank my wonderful wife, Molly, for the love and support over the 24 years that I've been in law enforcement, for putting up with me, everyone knows, for the stresses that I try not to bring home, but has been inevitable. My daughters, Kylie, Caitlin, and Mallory, for trying to understand the greater good and the sacrifices of missed events and dad time. To my friends and coworkers that have listened to me vent, whine, and argue about stupid stuff, thank you for your support. I thank the city manager for expressing the confidence she has in this position in me. I never started this profession looking to be a sergeant, a lieutenant, a captain, and now the chief of police. I started this profession to serve and protect, whether it was as a United States Marine or as a police officer. Protecting and serving is my passion. I am looking forward to the continued partnership with the shareholders of our community and serving the citizens of Paola. Some of my goals for the Paola Police Department are as follows. First is to continue the professionalism that has been passed down from previous administrations. The foundation from the chiefs is definitely going to make my job a lot easier. So, professionalism, what does that mean? It means that we as a department will never stop learning and trying to perfect how we serve our community. Change is inevitable. It's how you embrace that change that makes the difference. I am looking forward to the challenges of change. One of the key components of professionalism is accountability. Having integrity, I will continue to hold myself accountable and maintain the high standard of quality police work that this community is accustomed to. I understand that when we make a mistake, it affects lives. So how do we minimize those mistakes? Training, the other key component of professionalism. I will continue to prioritize continued training for our officers and supervisors to ensure that they have the knowledge and skills to respond effectively to the challenges that they may encounter. With this training and along with staff, I will continue to build a culture within our department, a sense of pride that we are the best in Miami County, and that when the need arises, the Paola Police Department will rise to take care of business. The second part is growth, development, new and better ways to conduct business, whether it's new technology, new ideas, or new tactics. I will also look at ways to efficiently grow the number of officers we employ. As the city grows, our department needs to grow. I will continue to work with staff on programs and opportunities within the department. This will increase community involvement and help with retaining our officers, our most valuable asset. Together, we will grow as a department. And finally, I would like to address the officers, the true backbone of this department. Continue to take pride in this profession. It is an honorable profession. Hold your heads high, knowing that this community and I support everything you do every day. I have seen and heard the stories from citizens of the positive impact you make in their lives. Continue the hard work and the training. Thank you for your service to the city of Paola. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Corbin. We're blessed to have you here, and your department is amazing. You guys do a great job. You really do. And I'm very proud of the department that we have here. I know it's not always, it's very thankless sometimes, but we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Honestly, you're gonna be one of them.
Congratulations. Thanks, guys.
Celebrate today.
We'll celebrate you tomorrow too, don't worry.
Take it off, we'll go ahead and change that.
All right. Janet, you're up.
I'm not taking that first one.
Brian's still here.
Yeah.
I know. Well, thanks for giving me a few minutes this evening to give you some updates. Janet McCray, Director of Economic Development for Miami County. Thanks for giving me a few minutes to give you some updates of things that are going on and a chance to give you a little bit of a recap for 2023 and the things that we did. So just a refresher and a reminder for you, I am a department of two. I have an assistant, Alex Friend, who runs data reports for me and does a lot of our social media marketing. We're county employees for the department, but then we have these two organizations that are kind of offshoots, so that can sometimes cause confusion. So we have a 501c6 that was created many, many moons ago as a way to bring in some additional grant money and to hold property if somebody donated it to the county. So we have the Greater Miami County Economic Development Corporation, which is a C6. That has an advisory board that you have an appointment to, and then each of the commissioners has an appointment to, and that group meets on a quarterly basis. What we discovered in the last year in particular is that there are grant opportunities that we really needed to have a 501c3 for, that the C6 did not qualify for. So we created a donor advised fund through the Greater Miami County Community Foundation that group then oversees. So we do have a C6. We have a C3 as well. The C3 in the past year was used to pursue a grant through the Patterson Family Foundation. It was a little bit over $60,000. And so that same entity does control those things. They don't necessarily have control over staff. We are still county employees, but they provide us advice as we move through and as we look at what we're going to tackle for the year. That board that you have an appointment to does help us oversee that. So we really see ourselves as a community collaborator and convener and bringing people together to talk about different things that are going on. But that's our overall structure for the group. We operate really under some key focus areas that were established when we did the department strategic plan in 2020. There were over 100 people that participated in that planning process. It includes some core areas, which really include aligning ourselves and making sure that we're working together on things, making sure that we're ready for opportunity, and then making sure that we're marketing and advertising the opportunities that we have available. And so that plan then is modified and reviewed annually with, I would say, more minor tweaks to really kind of represent the things that are going on and priorities that we have. So there's about 60 different tasks that are part of that plan that we hold ourselves to try to focus on every year. So really some activities within that plan to give you some scope of that. A lot of what we do really relies on data. So SizeUp is a data source that we use. It's available on our website. It allows anybody who's looking at any kind of business at any time within Miami County to be able to go in and take a look online at their leisure for free to figure out, does a coffee shop in this area work? What would I need to be having for revenue? What are comparable revenues within the area? What are comparable salaries? What's a comparable employee turnover? It also provides them demographic information about the region that they can scope in and look at specific households and neighborhoods if there's marketing that they want to do. We've also used that data kind of in probably not direct ways that they had thought of it. When we've applied for grants, we've been able to go in because we can scope a specific area and figure out demographics for areas and then be able to use that data as we do grant applications for that. So that's one of the things that we do. Retail lease track is another thing that we have. that allows us, if there's a kind of industry that we're looking at, to be able to figure out who would be the contacts that we would have to go after, and make contact with someone within that company to see if they're interested and provide information. Location one is the database that's available to make sure that we're marketing our properties to the Kansas City area and across the state, and that we're making that information readily available. So properties that are in there, there's currently about 20 different buildings for Paola. That number changes kind of based on what's available. We do existing business retention consults and technical assistance. Last year, we did 18 Paola business consults. We also then did 8 different non-community specific projects that took a look at Paola for different things. And of those, 12 of those businesses opened. So we have a fairly good success rate. A majority of the contacts that we receive are local contacts. And I think that makes a difference because people are sending them to us, the city sending them to us, the bank sending them, and we're sending them back and forth and working with people on that. Workforce is a big focus for us this year. We're working with the school districts on the real world learning things that they do, making sure that people are familiar with Kansas Works and promoting apprenticeship programs. Right now, a lot of people are thinking tourism. So with the NFL and everything that's been going on with the Chiefs in the last year in particular, Kansas City has gotten a lot of free publicity, if you will. And so we have been really working with Visit KC. That's a membership that we pay for, and each of the cities contribute some of the funds towards that as we get ready for the World Cup in 2026, because that is going to have an impact on our area, and we need to be sure that we're doing what we can to maximize it, and that our businesses are already thinking that far ahead to be able to do it. In this past year, we also hosted a group of travel writers who came and visited the community and actually spent the night in Miami County, and then did various blog posts and stuff to follow up on that to promote our region. Coming up later this month, we'll have a tourism dinner where we bring all of our tourism sites together. At last count, we had more than 40 folks that were registered for that event, for them to be able to come and exchange ideas. We'll also have speakers there from Visit KC and from the State Department, from Kansas Travel and Tourism, to talk about the different activities that they have. We do an awful lot of publications. We do information on school districts, on the different communities, on retail things that are ready. Those are things that we make available that we also provide to you so that they're on your website for you to be able to provide those to members of your community, real estate agents, and others who may be taking a look at what's going on. One of the things that we do directly with businesses is that financial support. So the county itself doesn't have money that we give out through the corporation. We do have some mini grants that we partner with the city on, and then also with our partner Network Kansas. So if somebody is looking at doing something that needs technical assistance, there's the opportunity for us to be able to do that. Within the city, they're able to get up to $750. 250 that's from the corporation, 250 from Network Kansas, and then 250 from the city. So it allows us to leverage that for folks who are needing it. In addition, we also have our revolving loan fund programs that we do through Network Kansas. We were able to do one of those last year in Paola. And so actually all 4 of them that we've done in the last 3 years have been in Paola, but we did do one last year that allowed us to get a building back in the market and back in use. And because of the building it was and its location, we were actually able to work with that applicant and with Network Kansas, and 1/3 of their $45,000 loan converted to a grant. And so that allowed them to immediately be a little bit more cash flow ready, and it also helped them be able to make the payments that were needed in order to do the improvements to that location. So as we look at 2024, there's a couple of things that we're doing that are special, that are probably not things necessarily would have been able to undertake without a grant through the state of Kansas in regard to marketing. So we'll be doing a focus this summer, driving people to our website, letting them know the different opportunities that are out there. We'll be doing some geofencing of some different locations, and then pinging those folks back as they do visits to say, while you're in Miami County, don't forget these other events are going on. Come to our website and see what kind of events and activities are going on for you to be able to come back. We're also going to be working on business basics in a day. we have 2 different dates set for that. That's a class where somebody can come in, if they're newly started or they're just thinking about it, but it gives them a chance to talk to a banker, an accountant, an attorney, and an insurance person, in addition to somebody from the SBDC, all on the same day. Through our partnership with Network Kansas, it's a $75 registration fee, but we're gonna rebate back 50 of that. So they're essentially gonna be paying for lunch. So if you have somebody that you know that's thinking about doing that, would encourage you to have them reach out to us so that we can get that set up for them to be able to do it. We've got one on a Friday and one on a Saturday, hoping to be able to accommodate different people on their different schedules. But probably the biggest thing is that workforce grant that we're doing with the Patterson Family Foundation. So we were able to work with, through that grant, to really do some social media marketing, driving people to our website where we have a portal that allows employers to list their jobs for free via Kansas Works. We're also going to be trying to get back together. We had a Miami County Human Resources Roundtable that had been going pretty strong, and then COVID hit. And between the departures and everything else, that group has kind of struggled a bit. So we're gonna try to get that group rejuvenated so that they can meet and understand and learn about some of the new resources that have become available. The state of Kansas has really been promoting the partnerships through the apprenticeship program and some other things. So we want to get those resources back in front of them so that employers know that it's available. And then we were also able to get access to a data source called Placer AI. And so the county paid half of the cost to get Placer AI, and the grant paid for the other half to get Placer AI. And I've kind of already given the cities a heads up, and I may be asking the city's money to help pay for that next year because I won't have the grant. But it gives us a chance to figure out if the data from it is going to be helpful. And so for all of the attendees at the tourism dinner later this month, we're going to run the report for them for their location. What it's going to be able to tell us, and what it's already told us, is a lot of information about how many visitors you have. How long do they stay there? Where do they come from? It's able to give us traffic counts at various locations. I was doing some more training and work on it this afternoon. It's just pretty incredible the amount of information it does. So when we were working on the public Wi-Fi grant application with MOCAN, I went in and I was able to draw the boundaries of roughly what the service area would be for that. And what we were able to then put into the grant because of that is that roughly 1/3 of the people who visited all of Paola during 2023 spent on average 2 hours within that area that would be covered for public Wi-Fi. And so those are the kinds of numbers that help strengthen your grant applications to be able to do that. So, and I was able to tell 80% of the people that it targeted were people with addresses outside of Paola. So they're visitors, they're not people who are going to be able to go back to the house and be able to do what they want to do. So that's some highlights of what we're looking at doing and our focus areas for this next year. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Do you have questions?
Yeah, two.
Bigman has one.
Number one, do they, because we're right next to Missouri, does the governor say, don't go over there?
For what?
Anything?
So are you referring to the Placer AI? So the Placer AI data will provide us information on Missouri and will provide us the information about who is traveling to and from Missouri.
Okay.
So it has no boundaries. So we are actually even able to, I was playing with it the other day, so I was comparing the visitors to Paola's dog park to the visitors of the dog park in Spring Hill.
Okay, that's cool.
So we could even do, I could do winery to winery, or bank to bank, or I could do a bank against all banks. I don't know that I really know I haven't found the limits of it yet. I've only found the limits of my own skills so far, and I'm kind of afraid that, am I gonna learn it all before a year is up? So it's some pretty cool data.
The other thing is I only worked for the museum with Leanne here one day a week and I haven't been back for a long time. But I was amazed at the people from out of state that went to the museum. Are all the museums like Osawatomie and some of those have that?
I think it depends on the museum. Certainly if you compare it to John Brown State Park, they get a lot of out-of-state visitors. I don't know, I haven't run the report, to run it, against the, like the Railroad Museum, but that's certainly something we could do.
Yeah,
But I know John Brown State Park, I think last year they said they had visitors from all but like 2 or 3 states.
yeah,
At a given time.
but she gets a lot of it, so, okay, thank you.
Mhm. Yes,
I know, Jan and I, in my previous life, our paths crossed frequently, so we are fortunate to have Janet working for the county and on behalf of Paola. Got 3 things, Janet, if you don't mind. Number one is, thank you and city manager were very instrumental in getting broadband into this and getting this fiber optic. And that kind of flies under the radar, but, that's what you gotta have city today. And I know that I appreciate it a lot at my house. Probably a question a year from now when you show back up is, I always felt, and this is unscientific, that I counted the number of sit-down restaurants in Paola, Kansas, with the amount of people we have in there. There's no way that this town could support as many sit-down restaurants as we had. Took that data, not through the Placer AI,
yeah,
and then, I've talked to the council before, is I think we're a bigger regional draw,
absolutely.
but it sounds like in about another year, you'll be able to show us and you'll be able to really put some real numbers to our regional draw.
Actually, if you have an opportunity to look at the economic climate report that was just pushed out yesterday, I wish I'd have brought a copy of that. It's something that I do every quarter that gets released. It includes the, pull factor number for the city and for the county. I don't remember Paola's, but I want to say you're like a 0.7 around there, so 1 is whole. So what that means is that every dollar that you could potentially capture, this may be further than Louisiana and Sargent, but every dollar you could potentially capture that's spent by the total population of the city that you capture.
Okay.
So you're at like a 0.7. And I think actually the city, you might be over a 1, I would say.
I felt last time we were over a 1.
I think so.
Like maybe
I think
1.1.
Yeah, I think you're like a
Little over,
1.
yeah, like 1.1 or
But
something.
I'll check, fine.
Yeah,
You talk.
so anyway, so I think because Walmart is a huge draw. for you
Yeah.
guys. And so I wanna say, now that I'm thinking about it, you guys are actually over a 1. I think I'm thinking the sales tax receipt per capita. But but anyway, I'll give it to you,
Yeah,
because
no.
I do have that.
I
You talk about
can
Walmart.
send it out in my Friday update to everybody.
It's,
Great.
I always look at the number of Lynn County plates in
Yeah.
the town. One more thing,
Uh-huh,
and again, what is the number one thing that you think Paola can do to help with economic development?
identify your next industrial site.
Very
I
good.
kind of expected that one. That was a softball, but yeah. Where's it gonna be?
What will the industrial strike, looking in your crystal ball and seeing what's going up, to our northern county, what would it look like? And I know it's gotta have all the amenities on there, it's gotta have streets, it's gotta have sewer, it's gotta have water.
Well, I mean, that's where you get to, right?
Uh-huh.
It's more about the site itself, it's more about good access. And then it becomes a question of making a location that's affordable for you to get water and sewer to.
Okay,
The location you have now is great for a business park, but I can't tell you how many folks we have who visit it and look at the schools and the homes that are next to it and are concerned about placing any kind of heavy user in that neighborhood. And so I think it's great if you look at it as a business park for the way it's designed now, where it's gonna be all interior kinds of uses. But if you're doing something that has outside storage and makes noise, not a great location.
thanks, Janet.
That makes sense.
Thank you, Janet.
Okay,
You're
so-
always so helpful.
Well, thank you. I'm gonna leave you a copy of the 2023 annual review, and then also a little postcard that I put together, that's just a great little summary. I often tell the folks that serve on our boards, you don't have to remember everything we talk about, just hopefully remember that we're a resource, and that we're here for you to send people to, and take this and send them our way so that we can help them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Janet.
I name drop you probably no less than once every 2 weeks.
That's great. I think I'd like to start.
We do too, don't worry.
Hey, Randy, you ever get a draw on you were looking for it? The one, whatever, the one above and below?
Oh, no, I stopped looking. I'll send it out in the Friday report for you.
I feel like it's like 1.1.
I wanna say, yeah, I'll do it.
All right. Feels like we've had a whole meeting already.
I know.
Okay, consent agenda. Did anyone have any questions on the consent agenda? If not, is there a motion?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented and authorize the mayor to sign.
I'll second, that motion.
McMahon,
Yes.
Base. Aye. Beckman,
Aye.
Shields.
Aye.
All right. Motion passed, thank you. Comments from the public,
Don't see anybody.
anybody? Hey. All right. New business. First, we have the Fall Valley contract amendment for additional services that we discussed in work study.
Yes, so as discussed in work study, the city's main PUA line runs along 311th and Weed Creek. And the Weed Creek's, creek bed is creeping up towards our line. We have about 11 feet of, material between the creek bed and our line right now. So, the city of Hilla has actually contracted Call Valley in February of 2023 to provide services that was topographic survey, prepare a plan, coordinate plan review for KDA and Corps of Engineers, and then estimating permit fees. And so we have asked them to add additional services onto that contract, which would include notice of intent and stormwater pollution prevention plan, prepare contract and bid documents, provide construction administration, construction testing and inspection, and administration and project management. So, the total cost of the contract amendment is $28,600, and attached is the contract for your review.
I went out there and, looked at the site and it's not a matter of when, it's a matter of how fast, to get out there and get that done. So with that respectively, I'll make a motion, let me do this correctly here. To approve the contract amendment with Call Valley Engineering for stream bank stabilization in the amount of $28,600, Ms. Mayor.
And I second.
McMahon,
Aye.
Hayes. Aye. Beckman,
Aye.
Shields.
Aye.
Right, motion passed, thank you. We get to get that done. Started, I guess, I should say.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it'll be a while, but please keep it moving.
Yeah. All right, next we have camping regulations, and this is ordinance number 3219.
Yes, ma'am. So also as previously discussed at work study, our campground regulations have a couple of things that staff would propose changing. So our current camping regulations only allow for a camper to stay at Lake Myola for 14 consecutive days with a 5-day absence required before they return to the campsite to camp again. We are proposing to changing that so that the 14-day rule only applies to the time outside of Memorial Day to Labor Day. I mean, it's inside. I am so sorry. Let's try that again. Okay.
With the 5-day also.
Yes, staff is proposing that the 14-day and 5-day rule only apply from Memorial Day to Labor Day, the busy time of year. So that way, when it's not busy and there's campsites available, we can utilize them more. So we have had people call and ask if they can stay longer. According to our policy, we don't allow it. But now if there's a site, they can move to another site that's available. This will not kick off anyone that already has it reserved online. So if a camper is on a current site, but they want to stay longer, but that site's already reserved, they will have to move. So you're still reserved online first come, first served. So this won't mess with any of that. The second change is that our current regulations references Lake Myola campsite reservation policy, which we do not currently have. So we're just gonna take that out of the code altogether. And that should do it for this round, I think, actually.
Who, is it Public Works, just normal staff that looks over it in the off season?
Yes,
I
well,
know during the
no,
busy season, we have
we have a camp host there also.
all year, oh, okay.
Well, it's no, it'll go March through November.
When people will be camping, yeah.
Yes.
When it's open.
April 1st to October 31st.
Well, it's
Yeah,
open.
April 1st through.
During the
Yes.
camping season, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize before that the penalty is $25 per day if they violate any of those stay restrictions. Do we know how long that's been in effect?
I think it's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
It's
might.
not a new thing.
It's very rarely utilized.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like if construction workers there and they only have like 2 days left, they'll pay the extra $50 just to,
Yeah,
stay. Right now with our online reservations, that probably kicks that out pretty quick.
Yeah.
yeah. Do you think we need to look at it or bring it back to council later?
Upping the fee, you mean?
Oh, I don't, probably not now. We can see how this goes changing, like if, outside of the state thing, if that becomes a problem, but I think right now it's probably okay. Yeah.
Excellent.
Any other questions? If not, is there a motion?
I move to adopt ordinance number 3219, amending the camping regulations for Lake Myola campgrounds.
I second the motion. McMahon,
Aye.
Faith. Aye. Beckman,
Aye.
Shields.
Aye.
All right, motion passed. Thank you. Next, the water space lease fee for private docks, resolution number 2024-003. And we also covered this at the same time.
It did. So as previously stated, we covered it at work study, but the city of Paola currently leases water space for private docks. So we don't own the docks out there, we only own this place. So that's important to keep in mind when we are talking about the fees, because when we were comparing other lakes, they either own the docks or provide other amenities that we don't. So we try to keep it in comparison to what we have. So we gave the lease period and the lease fees, the history on there for you. You can see it started at $70 in 2009 and it went to, over the years, in 2016, the highest it has been is $450, and it has not increased since 2016. So staff is proposing to increase the fee only by $100 for the total dock fee coming to $550. We would not like this fee to be in effect until January 2025. We feel like that'd be unfair to do it right now. So that's what staff is proposing.
I think it was gonna be the wait. Give people some warning. Any other questions or comments on this? If not, is there a motion?
I move to approve resolution 2024-003, amending the Lake Myola fee schedule for water space lease fees for private docks, increasing the fee from $450 to $550 effective January 1st, 2025.
I second it.
McMahon,
Aye.
Faith. Aye. Beckman,
Aye.
Shields.
Aye.
All right, motion passed. Okay, staff reports. Kirk?
I don't have a lot, just, I don't know if Randy's told you or not, we did submit the application for that funding from the state for the land rehabilitation, so that is in the works.
I wonder, how long does it usually take? That might not be a very good question.
Yeah,
How long it usually takes for them to get back?
I can't answer.
It varies.
Yeah, that does.
I think this is the first time they did emergency funding too,
so Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unique scenario.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
That it?
That's it.
Jessica?
We have planning commission meeting next week, so.
And Randy?
I've talked about.
Okay. Stephanie?
I'll just point out, I put on your desk, the legislative breakfast is coming up, and the robotics is also having another open house, so that's what that letter is about. I had included the city breakfast in your packet, so I thought I should probably give you that information. But that's all I have.
Okay.
And the letter from the robotics is right after that breakfast.
Right after, yeah,
In Paola.
They always, I think they typically do it that day.
and it's really neat if you have,
Mhm.
it is, they let you.
Yeah.
play it.
All right. Jared, do you have anything?
Yeah, just a couple things, Mayor. I would like to put on the, our next work session that, the council discuss, and the reason I'm doing this is I ran on two items, and, I ran on a roading business. I listened to Ms. McRae today and the stuff we got going on. I feel like that's starting to really kind of go, but, one thing the second thing I did run on, and I hear more about this than I do anything else, is housing and affordable housing. So I would respectfully ask that, during our next work session, that we put housing on and that we specifically, reference the comprehensive plan, which I have looked over, and there's a few things in there. How to grow Pale Lane and keep our charm. With that, and then it's got the laundry list of things here that we should be doing. With our comprehensive plan, and it's pretty good stuff. And, probably what I'll do for the city manager, I do have some specific questions, but seeing how I've been to a coma class, I will not email any of the members here, individually. I will email my questions to the city manager, and then I will go from there. So so it's okay with you, Mayor, I'd like to add that on. And I'm not looking for a specific spot. I just kind of want a brainstorming session on what we can do for the housing, because it looks like to me, it's pretty interesting, too. And I reference it, I did go to coma training. I learned a lot, with that. So it was, well done. So anyway, that's all I have right there. Thank you.
Thank you.
One of the other things, you said coma, one of the other ones is CORA, the Open Records Act.
Yes.
And like if you pass a note to Debbie, that's public record. And I don't know that all the council people know that. And I caught a county manager, administrator on that, and he yelled at me, but that's okay. I could take it.
Well, the only one concern about that is, let's say that I email you, and you guys probably already know this, and then you're going like, well, I didn't break it because I just emailed Kathy, but then Kathy says, you know what, I'm gonna email, Debbie, then all of a sudden, it nexus right back to me, so it's going to the city manager.
Absolutely.
Okay, Debbie?
No, I'm just super proud of being able to serve on this council, and you guys make this really easy. Because you work real hard, I appreciate you.
Kathy?
No, I've talked enough.
Leanne, do you have anything? Nothing? I have a couple of reappointments actually. So I've been bombarding Stephanie with all kinds of board appointments. So, the ones that we're doing tonight, they're currently serving on there and they're gonna be reappointments. Starla Medlin and Donna McMahon to the Palo Housing Authority, but we'll do them as separate motions if you don't mind. So the first one, we'll consider the appointment of Starla Medlin to the Palo Housing Authority Board.
I so moved.
A second.
McMahon,
Aye.
Hayes,
Aye.
Peckman,
Aye.
Shields,
Aye.
Thank you. And then consider the appointment of Donna McMahon to the Palo Housing Authority Board.
Yeah, are you gonna say it?
I'm not gonna say nothing.
I moved to appoint Donna McMahon to the Payola Housing Authority Board.
I'll second it.
McMahon,
Due to obvious reason, I abstained from the vote.
Hayes.
Aye.
Peckman,
Aye.
Shields,
Aye.
All right. Thank you all. If we have good people on our boards and they don't have to leave after terms are up, then I try to keep them on there if they're still interested. So
Good idea.
people aren't knocking down my door to serve on boards. That's all I have for tonight.
Thank you.
Good motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
McMahon.
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Peckman.
Aye.
Shields.
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned.
State and city coming in.
March 5th.
March 5th.